Today I want to talk about a clinical pearl associated with AST and ALT. Some people call them liver enzymes. They're typically found, of course, on the chemistry panel. Now, when you look at studies that have been published on the most common causes of what is actually causing the AST-ALT elevation, um, studies have found that the number one cause, more than 50% of the cases, was actually related to fatty liver disease. And this was secondary to diabetes, obesity. And one of the ways to quickly tell that's occurring is if you see the transaminases AST, ALT elevated with high triglycerides. When you see that pattern, especially if you also see that they have elevated blood sugar levels, like metabolic syndrome patterns with, high total cholesterol, low HDL, high LDL, the triglycerides being higher than cholesterol, elevated blood sugar, elevated insulin, that's all indicating that more than likely that the AST/ALT elevations are secondary to um, fatty liver disease caused by obesity. Now, the second most common cause of elevated AST and ALT studies have found is related to hepatitis. And there are millions of people out there who have hepatitis that don't know it, typically hepatitis C. And one of the key clinical giveaways that someone has hepatitis is you'll see the elevated AST/ALT. But if you see that, you have to look at the white blood cells. If you see the white blood cells elevated or the white blood cells really depressed, it strongly suggests that they have potential hepatitis. You definitely want to run a hepatitis panel and rule that out. And then the third most common cause of AST/ALT in studies was found to be alcohol-related liver damage. And alcohol-related liver damage can really be narrowed down by some of the things that researchers have found. If you see an AST/ALT ratio of 2 to 1, it strongly suggests that the person has alcohol liver damage. So that's about a 90% form of accuracy there. Now, if the AST/ALT ratio is 3 to 1, there's a 96% chance that it's alcohol related liver damage. So basically, the clinical pearl for today is really that's how you look through the most common causes of AST/ALT pathways when you're looking at blood work. If they're elevated, immediately look at triglycerides, other signs of diabetes, metabolic syndrome. If so, it's probably fatty liver. Second, if you see white blood cells involved, high or low, most likely hepatitis. If AST/ALT is elevated, and especially if the AST is twice as much the ALT or 3 times the ALT, then you know you have alcohol related liver damage. So hope that clinical pearl helps. Thank you.